Here it is.
Did you break anything?
We'll find out in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, nerds? We are finally doing it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make baits, finally. We have a massive unboxing here today. I wanna show you guys all of the accoutrements that are required to make some baits. Paul picked up a whole bunch of this stuff earlier. We have put up a couple of videos about this, and now we have enough molds to kill a yak. We won't, though.
I will not be killing any
They're
yaks.
endangered, probably. So we've got a ton of molds here that we're gonna walk you guys through. We got all the glitter, all the scents, all the colorants, all of it, right? And I'll even show you how we're storing this, which is actually, what might be like the most interesting part of this video, is like the unique storage setup that we've got going on. We're cooking in the garage. So yeah, we'll run through all of that today. First of all, check this out. So this is a pretty cool little store. I'm trying to open it right now. We got a really cool storage system here. These are tubs that you can get from any store around you. They're super cheap. Nice thing is if you can find one that's like lined, guess what it does? It locks in the scent, because after I open this up, there's that garlic, baby. So we're gonna speed through this part of the unboxing. This is awesome, so we can keep it like in a temperature controlled area in your house without stinking up the house. So I'd highly recommend you get something like this if you get the scents, or if you just wanna keep that plastisol smell away as well.
Show them the garlic.
Is it this one? Nope, that's the stabilizer. Is it this one? That's the anise. Which you don't smell any of the anise in here.
That's this one.
Oh, of course, it's the very yellow one. So this is why it stinks. Pure garlic cannot be contained
Literally.
by anything.
Yes. So
You
what?
have to come up with like a supervillain storage system to protect yourself from garlic.
Buried
scent.
deep underground. If it's this pungent, where it's like in a locked container and you can still kind of smell it, that means you know it's gonna be pungent when you put it in the plastic.
You gotta send it to the phantom zone.
Extremely small number of drops required, virtually nothing.
The first couple pours we did, we were like,
I want extra garlic, and I was like,
don't do
it
that.
burns your throat.
Right. So we get the boring stuff out of the way, the smelly, boring stuff. We got garlic. We got anise as well, so we can vary it up.
This is the wonderful thing about duo molds. We talk about the boring stuff. It's all the stuff that you have to have, but you don't get too excited about, but they have it all. Everything from bags to what you're gonna put your plastics in, to scents, to the little worm oil so that you can get them in and out easily. They have thought of everything, and they carry everything, including, again, boring but critical, these little tops. When you buy a color, it comes with a top for each one.
That's clutch.
Just bangers, like stuff you don't think about, but you absolutely need.
So we got all these colors as well, real quick, and there's a bunch upstairs that I'll show you guys in a second when I show you the storage setup up there. But green pumpkin, fluorescent green, of course, you gotta get that bright color going. We got some red to play around with. I'm excited for that.
Green pumpkin green, they also have a green pumpkin brown.
We got amber.
You gotta have the red. Fire truck red. What are those red fire trucks called? There's the worm oil I was talking about.
We do have motor oil as well for colors. I'm pumped about that.
My favorite color personally is that one. This amber, which is really kind of like a brownish amber. This is what I think of Jurassic Park, where he's got the mosquito in the sap.
True.
This is the sap.
And then we got the thing that half the people on our live said, you don't need this. It's the plastisol stabilizer.
But again,
we have a project for that.
If you need it, they have it. So they have 3 different sizes of flake. The .015 is the medium, .008 is the super fine. Yeah. So we got this in black, lime, which is like very, very green.
Light purple.
Gotta have the copper.
Navy has actually become like a fast favorite of ours.
Oh, dude, the
cool.
Canadian blue and the navy are just like fire.
And then we want to go crazy with some silver. I think we're gonna do some fun stuff, swim baits with that for sure.
White and or silver and or like white or pearl are like critical for making those like standard bait presentations. Like when you need to do like some sort of like minnow, shiner, whatever. We
got some stuff we unboxed recently on another video, but check this out. Gamakatsu size 2 and 4.
Now that's not for plastics.
It's not.
What is that for?
Those hooks are for our jigs right here. So we've got 5/8 of an ounce all the way down to 1/32 of an ounce, and we're gonna make a new project with this. This is coming up later, so we will pour some lead.
Secret assignment.
Secret assignment.
And we got so crazy. This is wild. We got so crazy. The folks that do a molds are like, I'm sure I can do that, but we don't have a mold for it.
So we're making one. Ah! All right, so now we get to the molds. This is the fun part. So this first mold we actually have 2 of because we got one and then we were sent one. So this is actually the Ripper 2-inch paddle tail. Nice thing about this though is because this chamber only makes 3, we now can make 6
in one pour.
Look at us go.
Because what you don't think about a lot of times is like you see the katana claw, right? In the higher end model, it makes 1.
It makes 1.
It's because it's so complex and like they want you to make as many as possible. Like that is true. But they also have to make sure that you can make a quality product, which is why you end up 1 or 3 or some of the smaller numbers. It's like 35 in 1. So when you get 2 of the same one, if you make a big enough batch of plastic and you have a big enough injector, you could do 1 and then do another one all in the same shot without cooling it, reheating it, stirring it, and then doing it all over again. So something to think about.
And the cool thing is you could stack all these molds, make them all the same color, and have a whole bunch of different baits at one time with 1 pour.
It's a really good call. So if you want to do like Senkos, craws, and creature baits all in like you do a perfect watermelon, pop, 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 done. And then you can do batches of them and they are all exactly the same.
And all of this is described on their website, so if you guys do want to check this out, it'll be in our description below. You can go to Do It Molds and you can buy any of these things.
And who's making the videos? Ben Nowak, the monster, and you get Debo, friend of the channel, bait maker extraordinaire.
People who know what they're doing.
Not us.
And then there's people like us who are trying to figure it out.
Would you like to watch us make mistakes?
Yep. I would. Then we got the Helgi. So the Helgermite right now is pretty hot for the smallmouth scene. Tons of bait companies making them. We want to make our own colors. This is the 3-inch, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I gotta label these things. By the way, pro tip.
Do that.
Label these. Permanent marker or tape or something.
I recommend
label it.
I recommend the tape. And the other thing to remember which one is which is label them top and bottom. Right? So one side of this is the top, one is the bottom. When you close it, if you forget, and you're gonna do 2 colors and you need to do like, let's say you wanted to do black and chartreuse, right? Which one's the top? I already forgot. And so that's super important. So when you're labeling these, whether it's a marker or whatever, make sure that you do top, and then bottom, and then what it actually is.
Also, you're gonna notice there's a little difference in these molds in a second. So we got the CNC molds, which would be like your higher end price point. It's gonna be a little more pricey. However, they are super clean. They're as clean as you're gonna get. There's no blemishes.
Extreme detail.
Yeah, extreme detail can be done with these. So this one right here is a fat fork. So it's a fat body, fork tail, short little baby fluke. And you can pour 4 at a time with this, which is really cool.
It is nice. And then the other thing with the CNC is they're perfectly smooth. Now that seems like it would always be an upgrade because it's more expensive. You think, oh, this is always an upgrade. That's not necessarily the case. There's a couple things with the with the non-CNC, like the poured ones. They usually come with a higher number of plastics that you can make, and they have like a little bit of a more textured finish on them when you're done pouring them, which actually can be a benefit. People don't realize that. They just think it's more expensive, it's better. That's not the case. They're just different.
Especially with jig trailers, right?
Totally agree.
So here's an example right here. So this is a bait that we're going to be using to make for BFS, crappie fishing, ultralight fishing.
Baby flipping.
This, we actually have a bunch of these in different colors from another company called Beaver Bottom Baits. And it's similar to this, not exactly the same, but you get that fat body, nice little tail that you can pour in a different color. So I can change the color of these tails if I want, have these all be like chartreuse with something else, right? And I already know this type of bait catches a ton of fish around here because I've tried the Beaver Bottom baits. So I'm excited to try this out as well. You'll notice at the top that you're pouring each one individually. Right, so that's all opened up for that. This is an example of the, this is the Brush Bomb 2-inch, by the way. This is like the Essentials series. So if you go on to doitmolds.com and you're like, hey, I want to just get like 1 or 2 molds to start out and I don't want to break my bank, these are extremely affordable molds. It's a little more work. I mean, you got to pour each one individually. And by more work, I mean plunging individually. It's so much more effort. It's really hard.
The sarcasm is sick. These ones also come with like hooks on them, which I actually really appreciate.
You can hang that
so
up.
if you get these in your garage, you can just hang them up, which is kind of dope.
Same with our lead mold for the jigs.
But I like these because when you get that texture, it actually grants it a little bit of something different, right? We like the smooth CNC, certainly, but these work just great. These work very well. Don't be afraid of these.
I forgot about this one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We also have the Big Ripper.
The big one.
When we're ready to go out for a big ol' rip,
I'm ready.
This is gonna be a
blast. I'm ready now.
Somebody just sent us giant swim bait hooks.
Oh, that's right. We have 7-aught swim baits for.
Now we have something for this. So this is the 6-inch, I believe, Ripper, and Oh, the grease is real with this one.
What color would you guys want to see in that? I know what I want.
What color would you guys like to see in any of these?
Yes.
Let us know in the comments below. Any colors you want us to pour, let us know which mold you want those colors in. And we'll happily start doing like a little fun kind of challenge series with this. So, you know, either myself or Paul and I will get some time. We'll cook some baits, especially come like late fall, winter time. When the bite is down, what else are we gonna do? We're gonna go in the garage.
Make baits.
We're gonna make some baits.
We're gonna try and figure out how to make orange. That is like my first like personal challenge is like making orange. Because you notice we didn't have an orange color. We had all the things we needed to make an orange color. Buckle up, it's gonna get sciencey.
All right, so this might be one of our favorites.
Oh, yes!
So we got the Katana Craw 5-pack. So now you can make 5 at a time. Paul has the CNC'd, right? Single, which isn't enough. So now we can make a whole bunch at one time. So that is really cool. I'm excited for that.
They just came out with a Magnum version of this. So go check out our TikTok or Instagram and you'll see a short video highlighting the Magnum version. It's like twice as big probably. It's awesome.
We almost didn't get this one. I'm pretty excited though. This is our drop shot mold kit. So you see you can change the tails on this too. Kind of like a flatworm is what it's gonna look like.
I was gonna say, one thing that I think is really unique about Do It versus other companies is how they take iconic baits and make them their own without stealing the exact same one. It's gonna fish pretty much the same way, but it is their version of it. The Katana Craw though, you can't get anywhere else. There's no other craws exactly like it. So you get a nice combo of like the Senkos, right? They have the exact Yamamoto Senko. So you can make the exact one that people are like really hyped about, or you can make a version of it, the Do It version. And I'm telling you right now, Brendan Chapman is a stick. If there was somebody I would want designing a mold, that dude is the person I would pick.
A lot of these will have the name on the inside as well. So this is the Slick Shiner, which is just a smooth paddle tail. We figured we get a whole bunch of the Ripper. You got that ribbed body paddle tail, which can do better in certain situations. And then we might as well get some smooth paddle tails as well. So we got that.
And when we were choosing or talking about which molds we would want to get, we were like, when you're making your own, right? I don't necessarily want something that's hyper unique.
Sorry. You were saying? No, go ahead.
You don't want... What you really want to do, in our opinion, what we wanted to start with was things that we use all of the time, that we rip through. So instead of going out and buying packs of things that we use very often, like paddle tails for trailers, like craws for trailers, like little drop shot baits, and like all the stuff that we use all of the time, no matter what, that's what I'm going to fish most often. That's what I would like to have customized, and that's what I know I'm going to use. Versus, right, getting, let's say, a big creature bait. Looks cool, would want to pour that. I don't fish them that often. So that's not the one I want to go for. I'm going to go for something that I'm going to use all of the time and is actually, when I make one, is going to fill out my assortment so that if I want a black, a green pumpkin, a blue, I can like make my own and not have to go buy them, and I will always be stocked up on stuff I use every day.
So that's not even all our stuff. This is just the most recent order of things. So I'm going to take you up to the garage, show you how we're storing this, all the stuff that is required to actually make this stuff, the cooking of said baits, and some of the other molds that we've already had.
And I'm gonna put a lid on this before I choke it.
It is really stinky in here. So let's go to that. All right, nerds, we're up in the garage now. So here's the storage space. Bam, we got just tons of tubs. Highly recommended if you want to keep your stuff organized, clean. If you can hang the molds, awesome. The other option is you can just use big old totes like this. There's the microwave that we're gonna be using. So microwave cooking space is right there. This is a multi-purpose rolling workstation. I got my clamps there so I can hold all the molds together, all that stuff. Obviously I'm not gonna miter saw anything. That's just for other home projects. There's plenty of storage underneath there as well. And then this storage area, this is my kayak rack that I made a long, long time ago. You can look up the video on the channel of that. So just real quick, we've already unboxed a lot of this stuff, so I'm not gonna waste a ton of time on this video. I'm just gonna show you what's in here. Oh my goodness. As you guys can see, we've got tons of other colors that we can play around with, lots of glitter, all that stuff, including a massive amount of copper flake way back here. And oh gosh, here are, you know, I prefer like your Pyrex, your anchors, whatever, just your heavy duty glassware. That's what we're gonna be cooking in the microwave with. We got our measuring spoons for flake and all sorts of different stuff like that. So all the cooking gear there. Got a million plastic bags to store all the plastics once we actually make them, and that's where you're gonna wanna use worm oil so it gets in the bag easily. And then we got our temperature readout gun. Since it's out here in the garage, I don't worry as much about like the smell, but if it gets bad, then I might move some of that stuff around. And then back here, we've got a bigger tote. So this one houses all of our extra plastisol. So these are the normal gallon jugs that you can get from Do It Molds. I'll show you what the larger 2.5 gallon looks like in the basement when I get back downstairs in a minute. We do have some Essential series left, barely any right there. So mostly we got the crystal clear plastisol, 3 gallons of that right there. We did have some extra molds. So I actually got a couple other things we can look at here. And then of course we've got all of our safety measures covered. So we got gloves, we got masks. We do have the dual injector. So you guys can see this on their website. It's a bit pricier, around, I want to say it's like $177, $188, something like that for this kit. But this allows you to do 2 different colors at the same time. Pretty neat. You can get a single injector if you're just fine doing single colorways and just messing around with glitter, of course. Other molds that we do have in here, we do have the CNC'd Katana Craw, so the blemish-free, if you will, Katana Craw. And then we got the Essential series you saw downstairs, the sandblasted mold. We also have a fluke, little 4-pack fluke here. I think this is the 4-inch one. So that one's pretty rad. Gonna be making lots of flukes to mess around with for sure. These are all CNC'd in here, by the way. The Midwest Finesse, that's your Ned rig. So we've already poured this one a bunch of times. Really cool little plastic with the softer plastisol, the crystal clear. You can make some really cool patterns and colors with this and catch tons and tons of fish. We got the Yamamoto Senko as well. So we can make that super fancy worm, little stick bait there. It is licensed by Yamamoto, so it is the Yamamoto worm, so you can make your own in any colorway you want, which we thought was really cool, and we're gonna do a lot. We're gonna have some fun with that. So there's all the other molds we got, all the storage that we're using here in the garage. This is where I'm gonna be cooking. So my goal is to try to make some baits once a week, right? Just once a week, couple hours at most. I wish we had more time to play around with this stuff, so I'm just gonna have to learn over the long period of time, right? But I think this is gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to bring some more content to you guys involving making these baits, trying these different colors, and by all means, shout out some colors and some ideas in the comments now that you've seen all the molds that we have. And we have just about every color you can make. And of course, we can combine colors to make new colors as well. So let's get back to the basement.
Are you back? Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay. Here's the last thing we got to talk about. So I scoured the internet to make sure this was okay. And from my recollection.
Scoured the internet, spent 4 minutes. Siri, tell me how to store my plastisol.
4 minutes? 2 minutes I spent. And just looking at a couple other guys, how they're storing like massive amounts of plastisol. This was said to be okay. Remains to be seen. We're gonna try and cook some baits with this. If there's some sort of problem with having it stored in this way,
you'll know about it.
And if it is wrong, you can just yell at me right now and I'll go order some new plastisol and put it in a different container. The thing is, when you guys get the larger amount than a gallon, so if you go 2.5 gallons of plastisol from Do It Molds, understand it comes in a bag. It's a bag of plastisol. It is heavily wrapped.
It's like Canadian milk.
It's like milk in Canada, right? So it comes in a bag. You've got to figure out a way to store that. Now you can put that into a bunch of different jugs. You could put it into a bucket, right?
Litany of options. This is the one that we picked.
Yep. What I'd recommend if you do the bucket though is you can get these screw top like vacuum sealed lids.
It's not vacuum sealed.
Yeah, it is. It's airtight.
It's not vacuum.
Shut up.
Vacuum sealed means
airtight screw lids.
Trying to save you from the comments like, I'm the smartest man in this chat room.
Oh my God.
See that rind? That was good. Makes the video.
Anyways, so you can get this screw top lid right here, like that, keeping it airtight. It's even got the little seal around the outside there. So we're not getting any dust, debris, or anything in there, and it's easier to regulate the temperature when I can store this in my basement.
Is it easy to spill?
No.
That's good.
Should we try it?
No.
Hang on.
Yeah, you try it.
Yum, 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 yum. So there we go. So I'm storing this in a bucket. So that's it. That's it. That's a lot of stuff that we've got. So I guess we actually have to utilize these things since it's currently taking up quite a bit of residence in my garage.
If you have ADHD, one thing I'd recommend is spending way too much money on something, then you have to do it. Otherwise, you can't justify it to your brain any other way.
It's called hyperfixation.
Dive in deep.
Welcome to neurodivergence. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this unboxing, and hopefully, I mean, if you're looking to get into making your own baits, it gave you some ideas of stuff that we're gonna be trying out, and if you just wanna see us make those baits, we'll be doing that in future videos. If you guys are interested in any Do It products, please click the link in our description below. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time we make some baits. Maybe the next video.
Maybe in an hour.
Maybe fishing.